Here we go.
Here we go. What's up, pal?
What's up?
Nothing.
What's going on?
I caught you in the car a few minutes ago, and
I know.
I found it. That little story was pretty funny. That your daughter wouldn't go in
Right.
because she
Oh,
didn't have.
we're starting off with that. Oh, you feel like you're throwing me under the bus here.
I don't think I'm throwing you under the bus. I think your kids just need a little more schooling because they're not thinking. She wouldn't
Yeah.
go. She wouldn't go in because she didn't have a mask, right?
She wouldn't go into Publix because she didn't have a mask.
Right.
Now, for everybody out there, so I don't get canceled, there's no rule. You don't have to wear a mask here. Most people don't in Georgia, especially where I live. I went in with no mask. It is what it is. And she's like, I'm not going in because I don't have a mask. And I was like, okay, well, I'm going in. I got to get some stuff. So I went in and did my shopping with no mask on. I was in there for maybe 5 minutes. And then I get back in the car with her, and that's when you called.
Right, and you told me this. I'm like, well, she does realize that you went in without a mask, right?
Right.
Like now, if you got the cooties, you're just giving it to her anyways. Like she may as well have just gone with you,
Right.
or
At that point.
or made you not go. You know,
Here's the thing. It's not about that. She doesn't want people to look at her and go, she's not wearing a mask. And I go, well, the other day you came with me, you had a mask on and I didn't. So they're going to look anyway and go, God, that girl's stupid father doesn't have a mask on. So either way, you're getting looked at. Like, there's no
wait,
two ways about it.
So it wasn't even like for like
No.
health or consideration of others. It was all
Right.
just worried about what people think of you. That's
And then
even
not
that's
only
even
that-
better. That's even better.
Right. But here's the thing. It's opposite here in where I live in Georgia. Everybody looks at her going, why is she wearing a mask? Because no one else is.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm like, they're looking at you, not me. You know? So
I forgot. There are places more backwards than Florida, and you're living in
this
one
is
of them.
it right here.
You're living in one of them. Although they were
Yeah.
talking about a Publix in somewhere. Florida's a very big state, by the way.
Right.
In my area, which is more of a civilized area of Florida, a more metropolitan area of Florida, they do. Most people do wear masks when they go into places, and maybe I'm equating the two. Maybe I'm not. Maybe if you don't wear masks, I kind of am saying something. Maybe I'm not. I don't know. But I know that in one of the less metropolitan areas of Florida, they just caught national news because someone walked through there and not a soul had a mask on, and and that's fine. Like that's its
Right.
own thing. But what was also funny was because that's happening, they put you under the microscope. So when they put the guy that owns this Publix or runs this Publix or whatever under the microscope, they were like,
Right.
"Oh, this guy's like a right wing guy that went to the things on January 6th. Not only did he go to the things on January 6th, but he like rented buses so other people could go to the things at the Capitol on January 6th. So then people are like, well, fuck this guy, whether he had masks rules at his store or not, because they found out
Right.
the other stuff. So, maybe sometimes you don't want attention because it'll bring other attention to you. That's all.
No, I
that's
also
all
don't
I'm
give
saying.
a fuck, so.
Right. But also nobody's going to look into you for saying you don't wear a mask and find out you did other knucklehead shit like go storm the Capitol. You know what I mean?
Right. No, yeah, I definitely would never do that.
So
No,
then,
I mean,
so then you won't
listen,
lose your job for it. You like this guy's going to
all
get canceled
they
all
gotta
over.
do is listen to our podcast to understand. I've done some really fucked up shit in my life. So,
But
you know.
but none of it since you've been employed at Dick's. Or
Well, you can't tell people where I work.
you
Put
said
that
it.
out.
You said it. You
No, I didn't say it.
You've said it. You've said it multiple times on this.
I've never said
Yeah,
that.
yeah, you have.
Oh, now people are going to be coming for autographs and
I'll bleep it, but I'm telling you, you've said it. After I bleep this, everyone who doesn't personally know Anthony, if you know where he works because you've heard him say it on this podcast, please make a comment somewhere so I can prove to this wad of dick that that he said it a couple of times.
How do we even get on this topic? Can we move on from this?
Yeah, sure. What do you got on your list there, pal?
Jesus
Hmm,
Christ! Uh, First of all, I was going to tell a story how at work.
Dicks.
Here we go.
I'll bleep it
I
too. I'm just fucking with you now.
you are a dick.
See, I'm not bleeping that, so
Don't
that's
bleep that one.
that. Fine, but that's a clue. Uh,
Anyway, what I was gonna say is I've allowed this Chartable website that I get the information from where we are ranked. I've allowed it to kind of taking on some legs here because I'm at work and I'm like telling people like, my podcast is ranked 101 in Yugoslavia. Like I'm just throwing things out there, and I must have said it a good 40 times today to different people, and they're like, really? I'm like, yeah, me and Ben are kind of a big deal, as if like, and they're like, who's Ben? I'm like, he's just some guy I do the podcast
what
with.
the fuck?
Right. So
who's been?
I'm trying to throw my weight around,
Yeah, well,
I'm a big podcaster now.
Well, fairly enough, you've got like 15 more pounds than me to throw around, so go for it.
Here we go. The guy's back on his diet for 3 minutes and he's talking trash.
Well, I mean,
wait, hold on. You're not back, are you? Is that where we're going with this?
Technically, I'm back because in the last like couple hours I haven't had anything bad, so I kind of swore after the pizza this afternoon. This is it. So
whoa, what this afternoon?
I'm just saying the other day when I went on the diet, it didn't take. It didn't take. So we have to try again.
Didn't take.
It didn't take. The fish
No.
got off the line, so to speak. So I'm gonna put a bigger worm on and cast it out. I'm gonna catch it.
Man, well, I hate to tell you though, we dropped again in the rankings in the Dominican. We're 77 now.
I hate chasing. I think you should just. I think it's getting to you. Like you're checking the ratings of the podcast more than I'm checking the stock ticker in a day. I think. And
Well,
that can't be healthy.
Upset. We lost 10 spots, but
if it's a daily, here's the thing: if it's a daily thing, today we didn't have one out, so we could have dropped.
Well, here's the thing: I've done a little analysis today.
Oh God,
we dropped 10 spots, but so did the other Breakfast Club podcast. They're 66. We're 77, but we got passed up by Russell Brand. Russell fucking Brand passes. What kind of stories could that guy have? Like drug-related stories? I can't even imagine.
He's probably got some great drug stories, some great poontang stories. He's rubbed elbows with a lot of famous people. He gets them on his shows. I mean, to be in the conversation with Russell Brand is probably a good thing.
Well, you know who the other guy is that passed us is Dax Shepard.
Yeah.
What has he done since Jackass?
He's got Dak Shepard?
Yeah.
Isn't he like a big actor?
I don't know.
He's like a big actor, and he's married to Kristen Bell, and he's got a really high rated podcast.
And does he? Well, not in Dominican. He's pretty close to us. He's only 11 spots away.
Yeah.
But Joe Rogan drops 10, 11 spots in the Dominican. We're actually.
You know why?
There's a chance we could pass Rogan again.
You know why? Because I think he's only on Spotify. Didn't he?
He's on Apple. He's just.
No, I thought he went exclusive.
Oh, I don't know.
Yeah. Oh. So that's it. So you're just really getting caught up in the minutia of it, though. I mean, you're checking every country, and you're.
Yeah.
That's not healthy.
Every day.
It's not healthy.
Every day.
I do, and I can attest that I do get a call once a day where you give a kind of a wrap up of the day on where we sit with certain parts unknown.
Right.
Yeah. Whatever. If you want to do that research, I'm not going to stop you because I find it interesting, but I have no interest. Even as interesting as I find it, I personally have no interest in looking it up myself. So,
I mean, this is to me, this is the meat and potatoes here, no?
I don't know.
I mean, I'm hoping one day I go look and we're like, number like 12 in Zimbabwe or something like that. That's the day that's gonna make it.
To be honest, this is not what I think of when I hear meat and potatoes. So, Uh,
Yeah. Well, yeah, your fat ass is probably thinking about actual meat and potatoes.
well, unless I'm surfing the internet for porn, then it might mean
Uh,
something else.
Jesus. Well, so it's funny. So I did that other podcast the other night, and we talked about wrestling and this, that, and the other, and it was great. It was fun. We had a lot of fun. But I get a text message from the one Howard Brody,
Who we've told
our
several stories about here.
right? And he goes,
Wait.
I'm gonna.
Okay.
I read the text in this voice. He goes, "Is it even worth it to listen to it?" And I said, "Listen to what?" And he said, "The podcast. The guy tagged me." And I said, "Oh fuck, he tagged him, Jesus." I said, "Nah, it's not worth it." And he goes, "I'll only listen if you talk good about me and you bury Francisco Ciazzo." That's what he said to me. And I said, "Nah, we didn't talk about you." Well, here's the thing. I may have, when the guy said, "How was Ring Warriors? Was it good?" I may have said, it was okay. I didn't want Howard to hear this. So I said, "No, we didn't even talk about you." I said, "No, the guy asked if I can get you to go on his podcast. That's it. We didn't speak." He's like, "I'm going to go listen." I was like, "Don't waste an hour of your time. You don't want to hear that.
I mean,
You don't want to hear
technically,
that."
he's. You didn't talk about him.
No.
Yeah. I mean, you talked about his product.
I may have said that he calls me a lot and that he calls Blake, and I said, and I may have even said sometimes we text each other and be like, I'm on the phone with him, and he's like, "Oh shit, he's calling me next." I may have said something like that, but I mean, so he was like, "You wanted to listen to it," but yeah, I was like, "No, don't listen to it. It's not that good. It's horrible." But the funny thing is, I made a post about it on Facebook. All I did was share their post. I didn't like write anything. When I share ours, sometimes like I write something. Like if I share the breakfast, I write. This one's kind of funny, or Ben's a fat fuck, or something like that, right? I didn't write anything. I just put I just shared it, like that was it. Well, usually when I do that, nothing happens. Do you know that it had 33 likes? And I'm like, I can't ever get that when I share the Breakfast Club stuff. 33 likes. There's comments. Billy Fives even commented. "Never heard of you. Send me a tape." And I said, "Of course." I said, I told him I talked about you. I even talked nice about him on the podcast. I don't even talk mean about him. And 33. That people may have actually watched this.
I don't think so. I think they just. I know two things. One, that the guy tagged other people in it. So then if you shared it, it was a second opportunity for anyone tagged in it or the people that are friends with them to see it and like it or whatever. And two, I think people were just being supportive of.
You think so?
Yeah, maybe like.
Well, why can't these same fucking people support the Breakfast Club
because they see
we work so hard on?
Because they see that 2 or 3 times a week. This was something new on your feed.
Fuck.
Yeah, I know. I gave up on quote people, unquote.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My quote friends, unquote. I gave up a long time ago on expecting them to be supportive of any venture I do.
Right.
Right. The only posts that get any, as far as Facebook goes, the less it's about me and the more it's about some stupid, frivolous, retarded thing, the more people are interested and want to comment and like.
Yeah. No support. No,
people are trash.
No. Right. Yeah. But yeah. Anyway, so I don't know. I gotta tell you, I heard it was a little cold down there today.
Was it today or yesterday? Today, I think it ended up being like
it all
7.
blends in for the unemployed.
Well, I mean, if I actually stuck my head outside, I would have. I would have had a clue. Luckily, I don't have a dog and don't have to go outside to walk it 3 times a day.
Wait. Who walks the dog?
The guy that owns it.
Yeah, but is he there? Sometimes he's not.
Well, here's the thing. If he's not there, there's 3 options. He can ask me to watch it, but that means that it's only going to be like, "Oh, I'm late. Can you just walk him once? It's going to be a while." Or it's like a one night thing. Other than that, I tell him he's got to just drop it off with his mom because it's not my responsibility, and I'm, the reason I don't have I don't have a dog myself is because I don't have to do this. But he's found a workaround
Right.
for that now that Marco lives, on the other side of this building. Is that he'll just have him watch it, which I think is funny because
That's actually hilarious. That not only is that funny, that makes you look like the biggest dick in the world.
well,
You don't watch the dog, but the guy 3 doors down does.
I listen. I'll do it occasionally, but it's really like since day one when we got this apartment, it was listen, man, don't dump this shit on me all the time. That's not the agreement here.
Right.
But every time I make an allowance for that, the last time we did it was over the summer, and I watched the dog for like 5 days. I swear to God, it didn't rain the week before that. It didn't rain the week after that. But those 5 days, it didn't stop fucking raining. So like you're like, there's no break in it either. It was like I could sit here and wait an hour for it to let up, but it wouldn't. So then an hour later, the dog's just got to pee even worse. But there's no, he's gonna get just as wet outside. So what would happen is we'd go outside, and that dog is such a just a soft millennial kind of dog. Everything's
Right.
crybaby bullshit. And so the second a raindrop hits his head, he's making a U-turn to go inside, no matter how bad he's got to go. He has no interest in getting wet. And I'm like, no, motherfucker. And I just I'm like, if I'm getting wet, you're getting wet. And I drag him out there, and then he's just like, he just won't do anything. So, then who am I getting mad at? Am I getting mad at the dog, or am I getting the guy that put me in this situation?
Oh, it's the guy that put you in the situation.
Right. So after 5 days, three times a day. So I have 15 times of standing out in the pouring rain and the dog looking at me like, are we going inside yet? And I'm like, are you going to shit? And it's like this, like we're in a staring contest. That finally, I'm like, well, you hide in his room anyway. So if you got to shit, you got to shit. It's not my problem. But he never did it. So yeah, it was like when he came back, I may have been a little annoyed. I may have taken a 3 argument to a 7, but what are you going to do?
Oh.
Maybe that's why he doesn't want to deal with me anymore and drops it off with Marco. Now I know.
I love that Marco watches this dog. What a rib.
Well, it is. It's a rib on him. But the funny thing is, it's like if Marco was on his own, he wouldn't be asking Marco to watch the dog. But it's his wife that loves the dog that wants to have the dog over and whatever, which is fine. Except that then the dog does its baby bullshit stuff, like it whines for no reason. It'll just stare at you and start whining and crying, and you're like, "What? I fed you. You went out. What? There's nothing else."
I have a feeling though that this is gonna backfire soon. Once the baby Saldino is in the house,
yeah,
it's done. The dog watching's over.
Maybe.
It is. It's coming back to you, pal.
Yeah, maybe.
Huh.
We'll see. I mean, 9 months is a long time from now.
This is true.
Actually, wait a minute, 7. I don't know.
Yeah, we're down already. I think we're down to like 6 months. Maybe.
Yeah, so I'm doing a race between this how much. I guess my only issue is the time between the pregnancy being over and my lease ending, and see if I can how much of a window that is if I'm in trouble, and because it might be that time of the year where he doesn't go anywhere, or maybe the time of the year where he's flying to Vegas and LA and all this shit, and then I'm like, I'm gonna be dog watching again.
It's good stuff.
Yeah,
good content here on the podcast.
It is fun.
This is what the people want to hear.
It is a great rib that
it is a great rib that Marco has to watch this dog.
Yeah, when I'm here. Down. Well, also the other argument was until the beginning of the year that I'm not home to walk the dog. I'm out of work.
Sure.
So and it's kind of unfair when someone has to be up so early anyways, go to work to get up earlier to walk a dog.
Right.
That sucks. So
the best is if it's like a rainy day and Marco's stuck walking this dog and you're like on your patio and you're just waving at him like and he's in the fucking rain and you're like, "Hey, I'm home."
Oh my God. Now I'm waiting for that. Now I'm like, I think they always take it out around the back around the lake, but if they did, I would get one of those reclining chairs and put it out on my balcony, have a whiskey in one hand, be smoking a cigar in the other with the legs kicked up, and just be like,
in the rain walking this little stupid bug-eyed dog.
yep. And I'd be like, you just hear me doing like some kind of Vince McMahon laugh, like, oh, look at you two getting wet.
Oh, he would be livid.
What I was getting to before was that he, like, after the first day there, he's messaging me like, this dog is such a fucking annoying bitch. And then by the time he came over on Saturday to do the podcast, he's like, what the fuck's with this dog? I go, I don't know. I don't put up with it. If he starts whining, I grab him.
You said, I don't put up with it. That's why he's not here. What an asshole.
The more I think about it, the more I'm coming off the position that I look like a piece of shit, and more
you do. This is great.
And more that this is just a hilarious rib on them. That
it is. This is fantastic. Well, let's hope he doesn't listen to this.
Well, no problem there. Now listen, but in terms of like the happiness of the dog, I feel that when he's here, whenever my roommate's not here, he just lays in the bed. He'll lay in the bed for 2 days straight. He just ninjas out, and all of a sudden the bowl of food is empty, and I never saw him eat it. But I think when he's over there, he doesn't have a place to go sulk. So he's with them at least, and a little more like engaged in.
Look at you trying to make this a good situation.
I am totally trying to make chicken salad out of this chicken shit.
Wow, Jesus. Well,
fuck it, I don't care.
Oh man.
And listen, I've been podcasting over a year with this shit. People know I'm a piece of shit anyway, so it's not like I'm trying. I've got any kind
of. We're not trying to hide it.
We're not. There's no reputation I'm trying to protect here. Yeah. You guys haven't even heard the real piece of shit stories. I've been sitting on those. They're in my back pocket.
Oh Lord. Oh God. Well, speaking of stories, and I think there's been an overwhelming just acceptance to ask Ben Temple's question.
Oh, now here you hold on a second.
What?
I'm going to tell you that someone is a little chicken shit and didn't play in your game and messaged me after that podcast wanting to clarify two things: that you let them know ahead of time that you were going to do it, and two, that it was all your bullshit. They not only ratted you out, but were afraid that I would think poorly of them. And I won't say their name, but let's just say it takes longer to mail them a package than the other person.
Damn Canadians. Here's the funny part.
No loyalty.
I made that up on the fly. Like literally in the moment of the podcast. Like that wasn't like I made that up. And then it happened. I was laughing because I'm like, oh my God, he really believes this when it's just me being an asshole. Then I let them know after the fact.
Who said I believed it?
And even if you didn't, it was great. It was fantastic. But then after the fact, I had let them know, hey, this is the joke.
Here's what's coming when you tomorrow morning. Yeah.
And they ratted me out.
Well, one of them just definitely didn't want me to think poorly of them. They didn't want the heat. So.
All right, I'll remember this. I'll remember this unnamed Canadian.
I love stirring the shit. I love it.
All right. You know what? Well, it doesn't matter. I'm going to really start Ask Grumpy Ben questions.
Yeah,
we're going to do 2 questions of podcast starting next week. I'm going to poll the podcasters what they want to ask.
Ask me anything within reason.
Oh, this is going to be great. Yeah. It's going to be the best segment that we've ever come up with. Ever.
I mean, that would mean more if we ever came up with a good segment.
Right, because we literally are on the fly here.
Yeah. I think the only segment, here's the funny thing, on the one with Marco, we have kind of started this segment of like, because he has that app on his phone that tells you every week as your unborn baby is growing, 3 random objects that the baby's the same size as, and they always pop me because they're like a Matchbox car, Groucho Marx's mustache, and a large strawberry. 3 completely unrelated things. So every week we do it, but I totally forgot to do it. And Marco's like, "Oh, before we sign off, we got to do this." And I was like, I was like, thank God this thing we said would be a regular thing is going to be a regular thing because you remember, because I didn't remember. So, yeah, I'm terrible. I'm terrible. I got to write shit down, I guess.
Terrible.
Terrible.
Man. Well,
All right. So,
we're going to start that. Next week, it's coming. I'll be
what
polling the world for questions.
What are we-
Ask Grumpy Ben.
are you
That's the
actually
name of
going
the
to poll
segment.
it? Are you going to I guess you got to go on TikTok. That's really where you got to go.
Yeah, well, I mean, I
Nobody
don't,
really pays attention to the other social medias.
yeah, but you could ask questions on the Instagram. You can't ask questions on the TikTok like that, I don't think. Like, I can ask a question, but then, like, I don't know. I'll figure it out. You don't worry, pal. It's coming.
You could even do one where then they duet it with the question, ask for the question and duet it. I don't know,
Yeah, good call. Well,
or stitch it.
yeah.
Stitch it.
Stitch it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, so that's I got nothing else except I did want to talk about one more thing.
Well, we can do that
No, it's
then.
not a shot at you.
What?
I said no, it's not a shot at you.
It's amazing how some things aren't a shot at me that become a shot at me. So go ahead. Let's see how we
Sure, it always ends up that way,
let's,
right?
let's see how we can 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon this one.
Right. No, so I'm gonna be in New York and New Jersey in a couple weeks,
Oh, Lord.
and anybody who listens to the podcast that
Is your
wants
boy
to meet
going
up,
with you?
he's going too,
Oh,
right?
boy.
So anybody who wants to meet up, we can make some tiki talks. I'm gonna be. Well, I guess we won't be we will have to do the podcast from New York. We're gonna have to do one from there. I'll be there.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, it doesn't change anything for me. I'm still in the same spot, so
Right.
you just have to
Right.
answer the phone.
Yeah, and we'll do one from there. But I think I'm going to try to arrange like a little meet up at my brother's store one of the days. See if we can get some people there. Do a little meetup.
Can you actually do it instead of coordinating it with someone that you're not going to be talking to by the time it happens?
Well, God.
It's about
listen.
It's a new year. We're going to have to talk about it at some
Once
point.
we tell that story, maybe we'll tell that soon. All I got to say is when everybody hears that story, there's one major thing, and that you called this months in advance that this was going to happen.
Not only did I call it months in advance, but I'll say this much about it. You wanted to meet her before this, and I said,
Right.
absolutely not. Absolutely not, because I know you. You're going to, this is like, no matter when you meet her, this is the only time you're going to meet her, because something's going to go sideways with it. You're going to hate her, she's going to hate you, and then it'll screw up the meetup, because you met her beforehand, and now you guys won't want to go to the
God,
meetup.
you know me so well.
I knew it to a T, and so I know that you kept coming up with excuses every weekend to not do it, and then it ended up getting screwy anyways. But I tried to save it because I do know you. So
yeah. So anybody who ever wants to meet me in person, it'll probably be the only time we ever meet. So
well, it depends. I mean,
it depends, right?
yeah. If it's all handshakes and no
Right.
kissing and
Don't
hugging.
if you try to touch the pee-pee, it's probably going to end after that. That's been my history since like the 8th grade.
I'm
So
crying. My head hurts. This is fucking hilarious. I can't wait to fucking tell that story.
This is the funny thing though. I'm not even kidding you. So this kid that I grew up with, he's actually coming here this weekend. My buddy Josh. When we were in high school, he would always say, like, I would meet a girl, in high school. You meet a girl in high school, and she's in your class, and he would always go, "It's not gonna end well." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He goes, "She doesn't even know this, but she's 2 weeks away from never speaking to you again." He used to say it all the time, and then it would happen, and he would go, "Tried to warn everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody wanted to listen," and here we are, 40 years old, and it's still happening.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm a horrible. Either I'm a horrible human being, or I don't know. Maybe I'm afraid of taking it any further. I don't know. Relationships are scary.
Well,
I'm just saying.
it's not, but it's also this. It's also that when you go into something with a clearly agreed upon thing that this is going nowhere, this is just fun. Nobody's interested in relationships or whatever, et cetera, and the other person the person that's not you always goes, oh yeah, sure. Either they're
Right.
lying and hoping that you'll come around, or somewhere along the way they catch the feelings and then the
Right.
agreement is canceled. But either way, the agreement gets canceled. I think half the time they're just hoping you'll come around, and they lie.
Yeah.
So they lie to you to to just get the ball
Listen,
moving.
I came around one time in my life. I've got 2 kids and a divorce, so
Right.
that didn't work out well, except for the kids. That's the only good part. But
Well, that's still to be determined. There's the votes out.
it's true.
Votes out on
Spend
Nick.
spend a day with Nick.
Right.
But yeah, and on a side note,
Did we
uh,
did we ever what, did we ever
well,
what were we talking about that you wanted to talk about, or did we talk about it?
I don't even remember.
I don't remember. It's such a
Yeah.
shit show here.
Such a shit show. Well, I'll end it with this.
Oh boy.
I got a box at my front door yesterday.
At your front door, people know
Front
where you
door.
live.
Oh,
Now they know where you
Wasn't
now they know where you
no,
work and where you
wasn't
live.
Wasn't a TikToker.
Oh.
Wasn't one of them TikTokers. I get a box at the door. It is heavy as all shit. I open it up, and there's another box inside that box. And I open that up, 16 boxes of Barilla Pastina. Just let it sink in for a second. Did you hear what I said?
Yeah, I'm kind of. That's the
16 boxes of Barilla Pastina. If you don't know what pastina is, it's
it's the
a
little
pasta,
like
little star shapes.
yeah, it looks like grit.
Right.
It looks like grits when you cook
Right,
it up.
and you eat it usually with butter. People eat it with. My grandma used to give it to us when
It's
we were
baby
young.
food. It's
Right,
once you're
right.
once you're older than 4 years old, you should be eating it. But I
Right.
digress. Go
So
ahead.
I'm like, what the fuck? And there it is on the label, sent from Bobby Rogers.
Of course.
I'm like, I texted him and I was like, I'm confused. He's like, it was a deal, and I got a box for myself, and I sent the other box to you. I was like, what the fuck am I gonna do with 16 boxes of pastina?
I mean, I know
Like, that's a lot of fucking pastina.
on any given week, if you want pasta, you go to Publix, and some brand is buy one get one.
Right.
So 16, it's,
And pastina is one box. You don't make the whole box usually. It's like
Dude.
that's a lot.
I mean,
This could last for a year.
no, is that wait? I thought all those boxes were 16 ounces.
They are, but
Yeah, so that's for me. That's a meal. Like
yeah, but I'll not.
I'll eat a
won't,
box.
but the
I'll
kids-
eat a box of penne and a jar of fucking sauce all in one sitting.
But my kids to eat the pastina, it's gonna take months for this pastina to go. But what a weird gift to send someone. It's really weird. And then he makes a comment that he does not listen to the podcast.
Mhm.
And I said, what does that mean? He's like, oh, I don't listen to that garbage. And I was like, garbage? We're ranked fucking 92 in Ghana. Like, what are you talking about? he's like, so I know he won't listen to this, but yeah, what am I gonna do with all the pastina? I honestly thought, like, do I donate it?
Well, first of all, we got to get him on the podcast because not
Right.
only do we need him to start telling Davey Rodeo show stories, but I feel like he'll listen to that podcast, and then he'll have no choice but to listen to others. Just like when
Well, he'll also just as just a fair warning, if you put him on the podcast,
Mhm.
he will tell. There's no doubt he will tell a story that I don't want to be told ever, and we'll just call it the hardcore kitten story.
Yeah.
That story probably can never make it onto the air, but he would tell it
Well,
because he's dying to.
I'd love to hear it. We don't have to air it. I could keep it I could keep it in my back pocket as insurance against you in case you ever
In case I stop talking to you.
if you step out of line. Yeah, if you start blowing off podcast dates, that kind of stuff.
Come on, Marco. Come on.
He's been good lately. He's been like here bright and early
I
on
haven't gotten
Saturdays.
any emergency phone calls.
No, and we've actually he's come prepared, so we haven't had to call you to help fill the fucking hour.
Right.
Because sometimes I'm sitting and I look at him and I'll look at him, and as we're talking, I realize he's got nothing, and I'm like, usually ours go an hour 20,
Yeah.
And I'm like thinking, oh, let's just call Anthony right now, and I'll make up some excuse, and then
Right.
you're able to fucking fill like a good half hour with us, and then that usually gets us like it's almost like we haven't stretched yet. You know, we're not ready to go play the game, but after like a half hour with you, we're ready, and then
Yeah.
we could take over from there. But yeah, I've needed you to come in and kind of like start the lawnmower, so to speak, because we were
Right.
tugging and nothing was firing.
And once I know this, that once we get on there and we get going, we can go. The
Yeah,
three of us can just
yeah.
go. Yeah. But yeah, well, last bit of thing. We'll end this. Who do you got at the Super Bowl? I think we have to talk about this. Who's your pick?
Uh,
You can't pick the Miami Dolphins. That's something Paula would do.
I mean that's what the heart wants. Maybe next
Right.
year.
Yeah.
I absolutely loathe from the base of my balls to the top of my
Right.
skull. Tom Brady getting another Super Bowl ring. Fucking hate that guy. And honestly, I really hate all these bandwagon jumpers who were
Right.
diehard
Right.
Patriots fans, but now they're also, oh, but Tom's my guy. I'm a Tom Brady guy for life. I know as a Dolphin,
Are you specifically talking about Adam Barasano?
that's he's not as bad because I don't think he's diehard anything. I think he
Right.
always blows with the wind. But but he's had every wrestler he meets was his favorite at one point. So so no, there's other people on my list that are like,
Yeah.
Brady, and they used to just be New England guys. I know that as a Dolphin, if my favorite player decided to just leave, not like like LeBron was a different story. He served out his contract, and then he said he
Right.
wanted to go back and play for his own team. And he brought me 2 rings, whatever. But with Brady, it was like he'd been there so long. There's no reason to go anywhere else. That's a guy you would want to just do his whole career in one place. And
Right.
and I feel like if he left my team, I would just hate the guy. Like
Agree.
I would hate the guy. I wouldn't be like rooting for him because my team sucks. With him off
Right.
of it. So I really want him to lose, but I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna go and pull for the Chiefs. I think they're gonna do it. I think that
All right.
they're gonna show up and they're gonna
Yeah.
if they just pressure Brady. I've always said this
Yep.
since back when the Dolphins used to actually compete with him, that the only answer to Tom Brady is pressure. If you can
I think the New York Giants proved that.
If
in
you
two
could
Super
pressure him
Bowls.
consistently throughout the game,
Yep.
he becomes the most average of quarterbacks. Average. But as soon as you're afraid, like if you get a lead and you want to sit on the lead and then drop back so he doesn't torch you and don't pressure him, he's going to kill you and he'll come back.
Yep.
The Jags did that in a championship
Right.
game. So hopefully they just do it for 4 quarters and just keep pressuring him. So I'm going to pick the Chiefs because also they've been there and they've done it before recently. So yeah,
I think I got to go Chiefs too. I
Yeah.
do. I hate Tom Brady also,
yeah.
but I
See,
got to go
not,
Chiefs.
I'm applying no science to this. I'm not comparing offenses against defenses or
Yeah.
coaching. I'm not comparing any of that, which it probably should be a consideration when you're picking. But I'm just totally going with my heart and going that
Yeah,
that
me
I
too.
just
I'm going Chiefs.
I hate this cocksucker.
Me too. Can't stand. I'm so glad the Giants beat them twice.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think it's a good end to the podcast there. What are you going to name this one? The show that's about absolutely nothing? Because that's definitely what happened today.
No. No. I forgot what we talked about already, so I'll have to kind of pop. Just jump through it a little bit when I'm
Right.
editing it because
All right.
I gotta take your place of work out of here. Even though
Yeah.
you've totally said it many times.
Asshole. All right. That's it. I'm done with you. Goodbye.
Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Rawr.